Hi, my name is Aaron Delecta. This is my third video, but my second interaction with my partner Daniel, who is from China. So the first question I asked him was, what motivates you to academically succeed? He told me that basically coming to America, he knew that he had to do well, but he wanted to come to America to get a degree so that he could do well in the future. He thought that going to a different country to get a degree would really help him, do better in the future. Another thing that motivates him is the fact that he moved very far away from his family. So he wants to do well to, show his family, like, look, I was able to leave and I was able to do well in a different country and get a degree. Because he had to give up basically being around his family just to get a good education. So that's what motivates him. What motivates me to academically succeed is definitely my family, and also just needing that degree to show to other people in the future that I have received an education. I want to be a politician, so showing people that I have a bachelor's degree in political science definitely helps prove to them that I have gone to school to learn more about politics, and I want to show my parents that I can do well and that I can strive and accomplish stuff. And I think that this is my last semester. I think I've done that. But yeah, um, the similarities and differences between us are pretty similar. I mean, I want to impress my parents. He wants to impress his parents. Of course, he had to move across the world to do it, but and I'm only like an hour and a half away from my home. But aside from both of those, the distance factor, I mean, we both have a reason to why we want to do well in school and why we need to do well in school and, to better ourselves in the future for our careers that we both want to go in. His intrinsic motivators for, wanting to do well is achieving his dreams so that he can become a well-educated individual. He wants to do well in the field that he's going into, which is economics. So doing well in school will help him accomplish his dreams, which is inside. So that's his intrinsic motivator. His extrinsic is his family, just 100%. Both of his parents are PhDs and professors, and you need a degree to work hard and be qualified as a laborer. And he even made a joke to me. He was like, "Oh, I want to go back home and make China great again." So that was funny. We had a good quick laugh about that. But yeah, so his family is his extrinsic motivator. The next question that I asked him was, how does culture contribute to your motivation? And he said that basically all of our cultures are different, but all cultures expect the parents to push their kids to succeed. I mean, that's a given. No parent just says, "Oh yeah, like I want my kid to fail." Just makes no sense. So his parents influenced him by setting a good example and helping to motivate him to do well. And my parents did the same thing. So that's like a good similarity between our cultures. The next question was, what differences in motivation have you observed between his home culture and then this new culture? And then the question after that was, has your motivation changed since moving here? He said that basically China is more focused on community, and the United States encourages to focus on the individual. He said, yes, we have more freedom, and in China there's less freedom to change, but when you're in China, you feel like you belong. In the United States, you need to be more self-motivated and to succeed because we get more freedom and have to be responsible for ourselves. He even said it just seems lonelier here in America. And he said in China, you have your family, community, roommates, and they all help motivate you to do well in school and your career, all of that. And for that second question, he said that his motivation has changed since he came here. He said that after realizing that the United States is more individualistic, he found himself becoming more individualistic too. But he told me that, yes, he does have that sense of community that he got when he lived in China. Two, it's just since moving here, yeah, he has become a little bit more individualistic. So I thought that was interesting. The next question was, how do interactions with teachers and professors differ between here and China? And he said that really that doesn't matter. He said that he believes that he's had both good and bad professors / teachers here and there, and he said that it just depends on that, if they are good or bad. He said it doesn't make a difference here and there, like what kind of professor and teacher, stuff like that. So then I asked him, have your cultural practices changed since moving here? He said that he had to miss a lot of traditional Chinese celebrations, like the Chinese New Year, but he got to experience the Western celebrations, like Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. He said that transportation was a huge change. He said that the United States is all about cars, and then China has many varieties of transportation that he misses. He said, for one of the examples he gave me was the bullet train that China has, which provides for like intermediate traveling. So he was saying, Cleveland is a little bit of a distance from. Cincinnati is like a little bit of a distance from Detroit. So the bullet train will get you there way quicker than a car would, because, you don't want to fly because it's not that far, but, you don't want to drive because it will take too long. So like the bullet train provides that intermediate travel, and it's really quick. And he said that, the United States should actually work on that, getting something like that. He also brought up that, the United States has no charge freeways. I mean, yes, we do have some, but there's a lot that don't. And in China, you do have to pay every time you go on the freeway. He also mentioned that his diet changed because he has to eat more American food, which he said American food has less vegetables, so he has to eat raw vegetables to, get the vegetable nutrition. Or he just goes to Chinese restaurants that are around the East Lansing area, and he'll eat there to, get that sense of home meal. So yeah. Another question that I asked him was, I told him about the Bennett scale, and I asked him after explaining it, I asked him, where do you think you fall on the Bennett scale? And he said that, after reading a little bit about it, after, when I was talking to him about it, he said that, yes, he feels comfortable living in an American culture. He thinks that he can do pretty well with, going into it, which falls into integration. But he knows that he can't just transform and act like an American completely. Like he can't just be like, oh, I'm an American, I'll be an American here, and then go back to China and be like, oh, I'm a Chinese citizen. So he told me that he basically believes that he falls more into the acceptance / adaptation part of the scale, and it's because he does try to fit into the American culture, which shows that he isn't denying that America has a different culture than his own. So yeah, this was a really interesting and fun interaction. Unfortunately, since I'm a very picky eater, we didn't go out to get food. We just hung out in my room again, and I interviewed him here again. But I talked to him a lot because we have theater together, and yeah, it was really cool. It was a lot of fun again. Yeah, but that's all the questions that I asked him, and I'll, I guess, write my paper next, and that's it. Have a good one.